Good evening, everybody, from a good evening, everybody, here from Shuttleworth Park. This is Adam Agresta coming at you solo tonight. We're getting into this one a little behind. Starter Zane Stevens for the Mohawks has quickly set down the first two Saugerties Stallions, as it now will bring up for the Stallions Jack Kelver. Tyler Kelder out of St. Bonaventure. As that one is in for a strike. It is 1-1 now. Kelder just finished up his freshman season at St. Bonaventure and is currently hitting .254 for the Stallions. Swings and misses at the off-speed pitch. It makes it 1-2. We have a very overcast day here. We're not sure how much of this game we will get in, but we will try our best, as the 1-2 is on the outside corner for a called strike three, and Stevens has himself 1-2-3 first inning with 2 strikeouts. We'll stay on here to provide you guys with some starting lineups. As we will, once we get them pulled up. We'll start off with the Stallions lineup. Batting first, as he struck out in his first at-bat, number 3 from Butler University, playing left field, James Gargano. Batting second for the Stallions is number 26. That'll be Cameron Comer out of Virginia. He is playing, he is the designated hitter tonight in the 2 spot. And batting third, we mentioned Tyler Kelder, number 20 out of St. Bonaventure. He will be playing second base today. Batting in the cleanup spot for the Stallions will be number 16, Easton Bertrand out of Minnesota. He is playing third base. Batting fifth will be number 44 out of Lemoyne College, the first baseman, Andrew Taft. Batting sixth for the Stallions will be number 10 out of Nyack University, the catcher tonight, number 10, Carlos Pino. Batting seventh is number 8 out of the University of Minnesota, the shortstop, Jacob Hitz. Batting eighth will be number 39, Justin Toohey out of Lemoyne College. He is playing right field tonight. And last but not least, batting ninth for the Stallions will be number 1 out of Oregon State University, the center fielder, Darius Foster. On the mound here for the Stallions tonight is number 48, Zach Strickland. Strickland, I believe, started a game against the Mohawks earlier this season and was beat up. It might have been in the Mohawks home opener. Get you the numbers for him, as this will be Strickland's 5th start. He's thrown 17 innings, given up 16 hits and 11 runs. 9 of those runs are earned. He's walked 9 and he struck out 19. He has a 4.76 ERA, and he will start it off here against the Mohawks leadoff hitter in Mike Antico. And the first pitch is in there for a called strike, 0-1. Antico today is playing center field. He played center field Friday, and the Mohawks come from behind win against the Oneonta Outlaws. And the 0-1 is slapped into left center for a base hit, and that one may get past center fielder. It will, and roll all the way to the wall. Antico, with good speed, is in standing at second with a leadoff double, as Antico has had himself a nice hot start to his Mohawks career. And speaking of hot starts, we have Richie Barella come to the plate. We don't have stats in currently for the Mohawks game on Friday against the Oneonta Outlaws. There were some technical issues, so we currently have Richie Barella batting for 74, but that is lower as he only went 1 for 5, I believe, in that game Friday. That one misses inside. It's 1-0. Mentioned Zach Strickland has had a bit of struggle this year. He only has a 4.74 ERA. As that one is kind of missed to make it 1-1.
Plus, a new item, we have empanadas.
And Tico is listed as only having 1 stolen base, and we're not sure if that's completely accurate, but he's certainly one of the Mohawks' most threatening people on base. As that one misses high, squaring around to bump, but pulling it back is Barella. And it's 2-1. We'll run through the Mohawks lineup quickly. Mentioned batting first was Mike Antico out of St. John's, playing center tonight. At bat right now is Richie Barella. He is playing right field tonight out of Manhattan College. Batting third will be number 31, Joe Genores. That one pins Richie Barella right on the shoulder, it looked like, or maybe the back of the neck. It was right around the upper shoulder area as he took a nice one there. He's bent over in pain. Our trainer, Carla, to him. It looks like he'll be okay. He's just going to try and walk off. He must have just taken that one in a difficult spot. Of course, there's nowhere fun to take an 80-mile-an-hour baseball to the back. But it looks like he'll be all right, and the Mohawks are in business with runners on first and second. Still nobody out. And the University of South Florida Bull, Joe Genore, coming up. He's playing first base tonight. He had a big 2-run double in the Mohawks comeback win on Friday against the Outlaws. That big hit also gave him his 10th and 11th RBIs of the year, which will now lead the Mohawks. As we still have a pause and play here, Richie Barella going through some tests to make sure he's all good to run the bases. We'll go through the rest of the Mohawks lineup. Batting cleanup out of Manhattan College, the designated hitter, number 37, Matt Padre. Batting fifth will be the catcher from Wake Forest University, number 39, Shane Muntz. Batting sixth for the Mohawks will be the third baseman, number 17 out of Herkimer College, Ben Rhodes. Batting seventh will be the left fielder out of Wake Forest University, number 24, Chris Lanzilli, as that one sits high on Joe Genord. It's 1-0. Batting eighth for the Mohawks will be the second baseman out of Florida Atlantic University, number 9, Richie Niza. And batting ninth for the Mohawks, as that one will be fouled off by Genord. Just gets under that one, and it's 1-1. Batting ninth for the Mohawks, the shortstop from the Thundering Herd of Marshall, number 1, Elvis Peralta Jr. to lead out the lineup. And we mentioned the starter, Zane Stevens. Last inning gets a 1-2-3 inning done already. Stevens out of Mississippi State. We'll give you some numbers on him as Strickland resets on the mound. Stevens, this is his fifth start for the Mohawks. He's thrown 15 innings, as that one is kind of missed by Genord. Big swing, and it's 1-2. He's given up, Stevens, this is 15 innings, given up 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 of those are earned, has walked 7, he's struck out 13. He's 2-0 with a 1.20 ERA, which is currently second on the team, but that will actually change with how Peyton Plumlee pitched on Tuesday. Someone was fouled back, and the runners are both going on that pitch, but now they have to retreat to their previous spot. The 1-2. And Genord swings that high fastball and misses, and that'll be the first out of the inning. First strikeout of the day for Strickland. That gives him 20 strikeouts on the year, as it brings up Matt Padre out of Manhattan College. Padre led off the ninth inning of Friday's game with a single, and he would eventually be put out, but as that off-speed pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1. But he did a good job of trying to get the rally going. A solid night to play for him, as he's hitting .259 without Friday's stats, 7 for 27. Was injured for part of the Mohawk season. This is his 10th appearance with the Mohawks this season. As that one misses, it's 1-1. And the 1-1 here from Strickland. And there's a check of the runner at second. Sliding back in safely is Antico. And the 1-1 now to Padre is in there for a call. Good off-speed pitch there from Strickland. It's 1-2. Runners on first and second here. 1 out for the Mohawks in the bottom of the first. Still no score. At a dark and gloomy day here at Shuttleworth Park. As that one will be slapped into right center and will get down with the base. Rounds third. He will score. Heading to third will be Barella, and Matt Padre gets the Mohawks on the board with is 1-0. That is Padre's 8th RBI of the season. And it will bring up the catcher, Shane Muntz, out of Wake Forest. Runners on first and third now. Still 1 out. Check of Padre at first, but he slides back in safely. Strickland taking his time here from the stretch. First pitch into Muntz is high for a ball, 1-0. Muntz stands rather tall. He is listed as a 6'4", 225-pound freshman from Wake Forest. Both pitches and catches, as that check at first allows Padre to slide back in safely. But he's been rather versatile for the Mohawks, especially with injuries that they've suffered on both their bench and with their starting players. The Mohawks have some great catcher depth this season, I would say, as that off-speed pitch is in there for a strike. It's 1-1. As Sam Prater currently is out with a concussion. He'll be out for, we're hoping, only a week or two, but they'll reevaluate him next week, how he'll be doing. But luckily, they currently have Matt Padre, who also went down with a concussion earlier this season, but has since returned to play, as you can see. The board, as that one is on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-2. And the 1-2 into Muntz will be cut on and miss, so Shane is down for the second out of the inning. Second strikeout for Strickland. That'll bring up the hero of the Friday game for the Mohawks, who, as Ben Rhodes, in the bottom of the 7th, hit a game-tying RBI double that scored Matt Padre, and in the bottom of the 9th, hit an RBI single that would score Michael Ludwig with the deciding run of the game, giving the Mohawks a 7-6 win. And currently, they are actually tied for first place with the Albany Dutchmen. Standings-wise, we'll run through those quickly. I'll give you the Eastern Division. Albany and Amsterdam are both 9-7 at the top of the league, as that one is in there for a called strike to Ben Rhodes. It's 0-1. Glens Falls and Saugerties are right behind them, though, as Glens Falls is 9-8, a half game back. They've won one in a row. Saugerties is 9-9, so a win tonight would certainly help for the playoffs, as that one misses high and it's 1-1. It is still relatively early in the season. Of course, you have all of July still to come, an All-Star weekend, a lot of different matchups that will have big playoff implications, especially with the new 7-team playoff format that they have working. But this Eastern Division will be entertaining to watch for sure, as the Oneonta Outlaws, who round out the division at 7-8, are still only one game back. Actually, they would be 1.5 games back, as that one is right. And it's 1-2 now to Rhodes. But either way, that division is separated by only a game and a half all the way around. And to give you the rest of the divisions, in the Central Division, the Watertown Rapids are 11-6. Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs, as that one will be slapped up the middle. Nice snag by the second baseman to get the out at second for the third out, as that was Tyler Kelder with a nice back, flips it up, hits, and that will do it for the first inning. But not before the Mohawks take a quick 1-0 lead on an RBI single by Matt Padre. 1 run scored on 2 hits. The Mohawks strand 2, however, as we will head to the second inning here at Shuttleworth Park. The Amsterdam Mohawks 1, the Saugerties Stallions 0. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Easton Bertrand will step in for the Saugerties Stallions to lead off the top of the second. Bertrand so far this season is hitting .317, 13 for 41 for Saugerties, as that curveball is in there on the inside corner for a called strike. 0-1. Bertrand has scored 5 runs. He's hit 3 home runs, which is tied for the team lead with Jack Dempsey and Good, as that one will be grounded down to third. Nice snag by Ben Rhodes. Throw on to first will get the out. As that will bring up Tui, or excuse me.
Number 44, Andrew Taft.
They'll actually bring up Andrew Taft, the first baseman out of Lemoyne College. He's batting $167 for the Stallions. He is actually a returner. He's 5 for 30 with 4 runs scored. That one misses just inside. It's 1-0. As the skies have gotten progressively darker here at Shuttleworth Park, we hope to get at least 5 in, which would make it an official game. But that still remains to be seen. That all depends on the speed of the players, as Stevens quickly sets again and deals. That one is in there for a called strike, and the 1-1 from Stevens. That curveball misses just low. It's 2-1. Taft playing first base tonight. The big righty has been a mainstay in PGCBL lineups for a couple of years now, as that one is on the outside corner and evens at 2-2. And the 2-2 is cut on and missed by Taft, and he is down for the second out of the inning. That's Taft's 9th strikeout of this season.
The catcher from Nyack, number 10, Carlos Pino.
As that'll bring up Carlos Pino out of Nyack College. He is catching tonight for Saugerties, as the first pitch into him is a called strike, 0-1. And that one will be fouled back and out of play. So Stevens is quickly ahead, 0-2. And the 0-2 will be dribbled fouled on the left field line. Stays that way. Pino so far this season is hitting .333 for Saugerties, but that's only 6 official at bats. He's 2 for 6. He has 3 strikeouts so far. And that one will be in the dirt. Makes it 1-2. Albany was once again rained out tonight, so they were supposed to play the Mohawks yesterday, and that game was rained out as well. So they are currently lining up a couple of doubleheaders in July. As that one misses low, it's 2-2. That's definitely, of course, when the more the baseball ramps up, you try to get those rained out games in, and sometimes you don't get all of them in. I think the Mohawks only played 48 last year, maybe 49. As that one will be dribbled down to third base. Charging is Ben Rhodes. Throw on to first for the out. And Zane Stevens has 6 up and 6 down to lead off the game. As we will head to the bottom of the second here with the Amsterdam Mohawks leading the Saugerties Stallions 1-0. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Chris Lanzilli in the box to lead off the bottom of the second for the Mohawks. Swings and misses at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Strickland allowed an RBI single by Matt Padre in the first inning, but got out of a jam to only give up the 1 run. The 0-1 to Lanzilli's lined back at the center fielder, but it will drop in for a base hit. Having to stop on that one was Foster. Didn't want to try and dive in. That was a really hard hit ball by Lanzilli, who came to this game still struggling mightily for the Mohawks, but he is looking to bump up his average. He was batting 100 before Friday's game, 4 for 40, but he is on here to start the second, and it will bring up the second baseman, Richie Nitza, out of FAU. Richie had a solid game on Friday as well. And that was in there for called strike on 1. Richie out of Florida Atlantic University, another former Mohawk from Florida Atlantic University, was in the news today as that one is fouled down the line, and it's 0-2. Tyler Frank in his first action with the Hudson Valley Renegades, of the New York Penn League. For anyone who may not make that connection, that is the same league that the Tri-State Valley Cats play in out of Troy. Hudson Valley is the Rays short season A affiliate, which is the team that drafted Tyler Frank in the second round. That one misses high and inside. It's 1-2 to Nitza. But Tyler Frank in his first action today belted a home run for the Renegades in their win. And the 1-2 in to Nitza from Strickland, who has a long pause as that one swings and misses, gets away from the catcher, and getting down to second on the wild pitch will be Lanzilli. So Nitza goes down but gets the runner over. And it'll bring up the 9-hitter and Elvis Peralta Jr. Elvis had a great game at the plate, going 2 for 4 with a walk. He had a home run a home run and a double to lead the Mohawks at the plate. Elvis out of Marshall University. Wait to the first pitch from Strickland. That curveball is on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Elvis is now tied with Richie Nitza for the home run lead on the ball club with 2. And the 0-1 is outside for a ball, 1-1. And the 1-1 from Strickland is cut on and missed by Peralta. Gets away from the catcher, Pino, but he hops back on it. It's 1-2. Lanzilli staying at second. And Strickland takes a long pause once again. I really think that Hunter Strickland does not want us to get this game in. As it is the bottom of the second. It is, give you a timing here, it's 7:08. We aren't supposed to get too bad of showers until about 9 o'clock, but as that one is high and inside to Elvis, he has to sit back for a bit, and he evens the count at 2-2. But honestly, I wouldn't really put it past the Saugerties coaching staff to try and stretch a game like this out. I mean, I say that, but of course, I doubt that is it. As that one is airmailed into center, heading to third is Lanzilli. The throw in from the center fielder, Foster, will not get him, so he is on to third on a throwing error by the pitcher, Strickland. So Strickland maybe taking a little too much time thinking about it. Squeezes the ball a little hard and airmails that one over the shortstop's head. And now Strickland resets the 2-2 here to Elvis Peralta Jr. As we already have lights on here in the bottom of the second. As that one is fouled into the plate and is 2-2 once again. As we have still a solid crowd for a Sunday evening here at Shuttleworth Park. Not a large amount, but solid definitely for a day where it's supposed to rain. That one's fouled over the grandstand out of play, and it'll keep it 2-2. And now Elvis redoes his bat as rain starts to fall here at Shuttleworth Park. It's coming down steadily. Everyone retreats to the grandstand where we have cover. But we will keep providing you this game for as long as it is going on, as that one is fouled into the Saugerties dugout. Everyone hops out of the way. And it looks like we got the Mohawks bullpen preparing the tarp. As all right now we wait for is for the umpires to really suspend the game. 2-2 into Peralta will be chopped to the shortstop. Coming home with it. And Lanzilli is out by a mile as he made an immediate break for the plate, but the shortstop makes a good play at throwing that one home, and he'll get Lanzilli for the second out. Elvis reaches on that fielder's choice. And it will bring up Mike Antico. As the rain is very steady now, both bullpens have retreated fully into the dugout. And running is Peralta. No one even catches it, and he quickly steals second as everyone is mesmerized by the rain here. So Elvis pulls a Ricky Henderson. Swipes it even when you know he's trying to swipe it. And he is on second base with 2 outs here with Antico at the plate. That first pitch is in the dirt. Skips away from the catcher far enough for Elvis Peralta to get down to third now. Question is, will Elvis go full Jackie Robinson and try and steal home? And we continue to play here. The rain has now started to pick up a little bit into a steady drove. Everyone is retreated besides a few brave people who were smart enough to bring umbrellas. The 1-0 is cut on and missed by Antico, as that one almost goes over Zach Strickland's head, but he snags it. And Peralta is still on third with 2 out here. And the 1-1. And trying to bunt his way on is Antico, but that one goes foul, so it's 1-2 now. As Antico goes back, gets more pine tar. And that one will play, keep it 1-2. as we take a look at our radar, it looks like a lot of what we'd expect to be hit with is passing either just over us or below us. But there is a constellation as we will now, as Antico goes down for, or actually, excuse me, I said Antico goes down. He does not. It just looks like we will now have a rain delay. As we will have the tarp out, and we will leave the broadcast going live for you as long as we can, as we are currently in a rain delay here in the bottom of the second inning. The Amsterdam Mohawks are leading the Saugerties Stallions 1-0. You're listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. And welcome back, everyone, to Shuttleworth Park. As we are back underway here with the Stallions versus the Mohawks. First pitch in after the rain delay is a ball outside, which makes the count full to Mike Antico at the plate. He's 1 for 1 so far today, doubled and scored a run in the first. Elvis Peralta Jr. is on third with 2 outs here. Zach Strickland is still on the mound for Saugerties. 3-2 in is cut on and missed. So after it started about an hour ago, the second inning is finished. As the Mohawks get nothing in that inning on 1 hit, they strand a runner on third. No errors by the Stallions as we will head to the third inning now at Shuttleworth Park with the Hampshire Mohawks up 1-0 over the Saugerties Stallions. You're listening to the Hampshire Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Jacob hits the shortstop out of the University of Minnesota. Up now for Saugerties as that one goes behind him. He barks a couple of things at Zane Stevens. But everyone is calm as it is 1-0 here. And it's now 2-0 to Hits. Hits in his first at bat. No. Hits in his first at bat as now he gets hit and now he charges the mound at Zane Stevens. We have a bench clearing brawl here. Oh my God, as we have a brawl going on. As this is absolute insanity. Players being pulled apart. Hits start mound at Zane Stevens. They're trying, it's going. I cannot believe this. As now someone has, it looks like Jacob Hits off to the side. As they have thrown out multiple players. As they try to restore order here at Shuttleworth Park. As this is the craziest sight I've ever seen at Shuttleworth. Complete bench emptying brawl here in the center of on the infield. I cannot believe this. That was absolute travesty for the PGCBL. That does not look good at all. As the first pitch of that at bat went behind Jacob Hits, and he barked a couple of things out at the pitcher Zane Stevens out of Mississippi State. And now we have a conference between the head coach, the coaching staff of the Saugerties Stallions and head Mohawks GM Ryan Spagnola as we try to determine what will be said about this Now, as we've mentioned before in the past, there's always been bad blood between these teams, but that was a full-scale one-on ended up much worse. As the strong caps and other protected from the field off of it, that is, and tuning in, you saw that live. As we'll see who is still in the game, who is not. We'll take a quick break here on the Mohawks YouTube where you are listening in here at Shuttleworth Park as the Amsterdam Mohawks are up 1-0 over the Saugerties Stallions in the top of the third. And for everyone that's still with us, we will continue to play here tonight. If you have not tuned in before, there was just a bench clearing brawl in the middle of Shuttleworth Park. That was absolutely insane. To give you kind of a rundown of what happened, the Mohawk starter, Zane Stevens, threw at the Saugerties shortstop, Jacob Hitz. Excuse me, let me make sure I have his name correct. Yes, it is Jacob Hitz out of Minnesota. And Hitz was first pitch of the at-bat, ball went behind Hitz. And he barked a couple of things at Zane Stevens, but it seemed like it was innocent enough. But then a couple pitches later, he gets a ball in the back, and he charges them out at Zane Stevens. It was kind of half-hearted at first, but he ends up making it out there, and that cleared the entire benches. Both of them rushing in. There was a mad dog pile. If you go back on this YouTube broadcast once it's ended, you may be able to see it. Unfortunately, our webcam isn't exactly up to snuff in video quality, but you'll still be able to at least see kind of what transpires here. But now we have a new pitcher in Blake Espinal. I have a couple of my statistics interns down giving me some info on who may still be in the game, who was ejected. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that both Jacob Hitz and Zane Stevens are both out of the game. And then from there, I'm not completely sure. Currently on deck for the Stallions is number 13 and number 1. Number 1 is the center fielder, Foster. So he's in the game, but number 13 will be probably in for either as we wait for it. I'm waiting to see when he gets announced. He's probably going to be hitting for Justin Toohey, the right fielder, as we will now finally resume play. And it looks like the Mohawks defense is the same. We got Janort at first, Richie Nitsa at second, Peralta at short, and Rhodes at third, which I'm rather surprised that everything's the same. But now we will resume here in the top of the third inning with the Stallions, as that one is foul. And it's 0-1. So Justin Toohey actually with a number 13 is jersey in the brawl. Number 13, Toohey. As that pitch is on the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-2. So the batter is Justin Toohey. As we continue our broadcast here, Espinal delivers, and that one is inside on Toohey. It's 1-2. And the 1-2 from Espinal is swung on and fouled and held by the catcher, Muntz. That'll be the first out of the inning. And now it'll bring up the center fielder, Darius Foster out of Oregon State, which now is moving on to the College World Series Finals. I believe he redshirted, Foster has, this past season. And the first pitch into him is at his head, and that one hits him. Seeing the elbow, I definitely don't think Blake Espinal tried that as a form of retaliation for the brawl. So there's a warning now to both benches by the home plate umpire. So, of course, that does mean that if any other hit batsman that could seem like it's intentional, so to speak, may result in ejections on both sides. as I'll now bring up the left fielder, James Gargano. James so far today is 0 for 1. He struck out in his first at bat against Stevens. And the other thing to point out in this is that even though there was a rain delay, there's now runners on first and second here, 1 out. That one misses low. It's 1-0 here. But the Stallions still don't have a hit in the first 2 innings before the rain delay. Zane Stevens threw 2 perfect innings. So he was rolling pretty well. And I think that if this was just another sunny day here at Shuttleworth Park, as that one misses low, 2-0, that he might have just kept on rolling without having any issue like that. But, of course, he comes out after the long rain delay. He may have had control issues. And, of course, on the Amsterdam side, I would be biased and hope that Zane Stevens didn't have any malice in his heart when throwing those pitches. As that one hits the batter, and the pitcher, Espinal, is out of here as he throws him out to load the bases. Espinal is trying to say that he just does not have control right now. It's a cold day. He didn't have a long time to warm up. And that absolutely, I would say, is true. But either way, he will have to be ejected. And there is currently not a soul in the Mohawks bullpen. So they're going to have to get someone running down there quick or get someone here in to warm up efficiently and come in with the bases loaded here. And Saugerties knocking on the door with 1 out in the top of the third. And all of this while the skies are still menacing and we still have rain in the forecast today. So we're hoping that we're able to get this game in. But right now, the gods are against us as we have a new righty coming out in Teddy Sabato, it looks like, who will warm up and get the call here for the Mohawks. As Coach Keith Griffin has shed his hat, and he is now trying to make something out of nothing, working now with a pitching staff that will have to just kind of go with the flow. As I'm still kind of in shock as to what's transpired this past inning. A full bench clearing brawl between these two teams, and they've had bad blood in the past, but with all these players switching switching summer teams each year and not many come back and stuff like that, I'm very surprised. And Zane Stevens did not play here. Zane Stevens, the Mohawk star, did not play here last year. And the batter, Jack Hitz, I don't believe played for Saugerties either. So even if you bring up the bad blood of the past, it doesn't exactly make sense, except for the fact that maybe Jack Hitz took personal offense to having a rivalry team, a pitcher on the rivalry team throw at him, as it seemed like even if Zane Stevens didn't mean to, he definitely missed closely with his first pitch and got him with that second pitch that caused him to charge the mound. So regardless, hindsight is 2020, and we're hoping to get a baseball game in here officially today. Teddy Sabato finishing up the last of his warm-up pitches. He is out of Manhattan College. His first year of college ball, he went to the University of North Carolina, never ended up playing there. He redshirted a year, transferred in to Manhattan. As Sabato continues to warm up, I believe they'll give him as much as he needs, which is certainly a better rule than in the MLB. Also, if you're trying to follow along with the live stats, those will currently be on hold. I'll try to update you with what happens each inning on here as we go. But we just had our stats program crash on us, and we're going to get it rebooted as quickly as possible. But just so you know, ahead of time, the Mohawks are up 1-0. The line scores read Mohawks 1, 1 run, 3 hits, 0 errors, and the Stallions have no runs on no hits with 0 errors. As the bases have become loaded on 3 hit by pitches by the Mohawks and 1 induced brawl in between. As we will pause here up until we get play resumed. And now we will once again resume play as Cameron Comer out of the University of Virginia comes to the plate. First pitch from Sabato is in for a strike as a pickoff try goes down to third, diving and making a nice snag is Ben Rhodes, keeping a run from scoring and tying it up. That was probably not exactly a great decision by Shane Muntz, but trying to catch the runner on third off of his game as it's a pinch runner for hits. We're not sure who exactly it is. As that one will be grounded to first. Coming home with is Genord. He'll get the force out there. They throw on to first, and he is called safe. So all the runners move up, and out is recorded at home on that fielder's choice. And there are now 2 gone with Tyler Kelder coming to the plate.
The second baseman from St. Bonaventure, Tyler Kelder.
And the first pitch into Kelder is low for a ball, 1-0. And just for people scoring at home, the runner who was thrown out that came in to pinch hit for Jacob Hitz was Alvarado, who is Herman Alvarado, number 23 out of Nyack College. And the 2-0 here from Sabato will be pop foul out of play. Makes it 2-1. As Sabato retreats with the new ball. It's completely gray here. Lights have been on for a while. Still in the top of the third, 2-1 count here. 2 outs, bases loaded for Stallions down 1-0. And the 2-1 from Sabato is fouled off, so that evens count 2-2. As after everything that's happened here in this inning, I'm sure the Mohawks would love to get out of it still up 1-0. As Kelder steps in for the 2-2 from Sabato. The Jasper of Manhattan steps and throws. And that one will be flown high in the air down the right field line. Hook and foul. Calling is the right fielder who will miss it barely. The right fielder there was Barella. He ran over what looks like the mound of the bullpen and just could not get to it as a hook foul. But that was a good effort by both him and the first baseman, Genord, and we will reset. And the 2-2 is ripped into right. Coming in is Barella and will settle under it to make the catch for the third out. So final line there in that inning is no runs on no hits. 3 hit batsmen, 1 bench clearing brawl, no errors. Mohawks lead 1-0. We're headed to the bottom of the third. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Jake Hammond will lead off the bottom of the third here as he takes a strike in. It's 0-1. The 0-1 into Hammond is low. Jake Hammond is currently hitting in the spot that Richie Barella previously occupied. I mentioned that Richie Barella was playing right last inning, but I may have been incorrect. We'll have to see as we go through the order who is now in, and we're not completely sure still who has been ejected. As that one will be ripped right to the first baseman. Nice snag by Taft there. And that's the first out. They will bring up Joe Genord. Joe steps in. I will say, out of all the people that I wouldn't want to mess with in Brawl that we just had, it would definitely be Joe, as he came into the aid of his teammates. As that one misses low, it's 1-0. But as I'm getting more information here, that one is on the outside corner for a strike. It's 1-1. We're thinking that Richie Barella, who got hit in the first inning and had some issues with making sure that he was all right. I think we're thinking that after the brawl, he was just taken out in general, not even ejected, as that one swung on a miss by Genor. It's 1-2. So just something to keep in mind. We'll keep an eye on that to see if we get any updates on Richie Barella. But either way, he's out of this game. As that one will be slapped down to third base. Fielding it is the third baseman Bertrand on the first, and that's the second out. That will bring up Matt Padre, the designated hitter out of Manhattan. I think about it, the more Jack hits charging the mound on Zane Stevens doesn't make sense because even though the guys on the left side of the infield aren't too intimidating, his catcher tonight, as that one misses low and away, 1-0, it reminds me because with Matt Padre designated hitting, his catcher tonight is Shane Muntz, who's 6'4", 225. And then you have Joe Gennaro, 6'2", 200 plus. At first, as that one is swung out and missed by Matt, he was out in front. And now it's sweet pitching, it's 1-1. But I digress. With Matt taking that one inside, 2-1. And the 2-1 is on the outside corner for a strike, 2-2. And the 2-2 will be popped high in the air. Racing back is the shortstop and second baseman, getting called off by the center fielder, Foster, to make the catch and retire the side. So after a very eventful top of the third, bottom of the third goes easy. It's 1-2-3 for the Mohawks as we will head to the fourth inning here at Shuttleworth Park. The Amsterdam Mohawks are up 1-0. You are listening to the Amsterdam Mohawks Radio Network here on YouTube Live. Easton Bertrand steps up to the plate against Teddy Sabato to lead off the top of the fourth. First pitch into Bertrand is a strike 0-1. Fun fact about Easton, he is college teammates with Jack Hitz. So we'll hope that he does not follow after his college teammates. That one fouls down the right field line, as that one is fouled, excuse me. It is not. As despite everything that has prevented baseball to happen here tonight, we're in the top of the fourth here at Shuttleworth Park, still chugging along. And the swing and miss there from Bertrand will be the first out of the inning. Sabato's first strikeout. So that'll bring up Andrew Taft out of Lemoyne College. Taft so far today is 0 for 1. He struck out. So that one is fouled back. 0-1. And the 0-1 from Sabato, who has a sidearm delivery, misses outside. Now 1-1. The skies have turned a light gray instead of a dark gray now, so they may be looking up on our weather forecast, so we might be able to get a full 9 in tonight. After a rain delay, that delayed our game in the bottom of the second, and then once we returned, we had a brawl that delayed it even farther, as that one is on the outside corner for a strike 1 and 2. And the 1-2 is punched into shallow center. Snagging it is the second baseman, Richie Nitza, for the second out. Nice little piece of fielding there from the Florida Atlantic product. And that will bring up the catcher, Thomas Pino. Excuse me, Carlos Pino. Carlos swings and misses through that one. It's 0-1.